All right, well, it looks like 2:01. I say we get started. All right, good afternoon, everybody. Thank you so very much for taking the time to be here. My name is Kelsey.
I'm Brett Mayer.
This is Brett Mayer. We're both from the ACA, and we're really excited for the opportunity to share with you this Smart Start for safe paddling resources that we have recently been building. I also just wanted to say thank you to Casey Moss, as ACA's communications manager, is here in the background as well. Casey, thank you for being here. And if you have any questions or comments that come up in the chat, feel free to address those or answer those or let us know about that stuff. So everyone, again, if you're familiar with Zoom and you're comfortable using the chat, feel free to post a couple of questions, or you can raise your digital hand if you want us to address your question in real time too. We have so much to share. And this presentation is very brief. It'll take 15 minutes, 20 tops, and then we'll stay as long as you want to answer any questions or entertain any discussion that the group wants to go through. So that being said, thank you once again. We're just going to get on started. So the ACA, who has had an educational programming in the world of paddling, of all paddlecraft since the early 70s, recently within the past year developed the Smart Start for safe paddling kind of suite of resources that provides essential info to help brand new novice paddlers stay safe and have a whole bunch of fun while they're out on the water. And the collection of resources addresses each and every NASBLA and ANSI published standard, and it provides some in-text references, citations, so that you can easily figure out what those things do. And so the kind of components of this are a resource book, call it a curriculum textbook if you like. Would you get me one of each of them? Yeah. Thank you. A student workbook. A student workbook, a facilitator's guide, an online safety course that's completely free, and some presentation slides to help you deliver the content. I'm sorry. An on water course outline to help you kind of structure, a hands-on water on course, and a bunch of other things that we're excited to show you today. And just kind of as an overview, the content of all of these resources is broken down into these 4 main chapters right here that deal with gear, skill development, planning, and then decision-making and judgment. Here is a quick, sorry, I'm adding people who are in the waiting room. Thank you for everyone who's been joining us just now. Thank you so very much for being here. Right here on the screen is examples of the textbook, the workbook, and the facilitator's guide. You can get these things print on demand or on Amazon Kindle as a digital format. So it works with phones, Kindle readers, tablets, any screen you got. And so as you can see, each of them are designed very similarly. You can tell that they are a set. And they feature the same branding, the same characters, the same, writing style, and general approach. And as I said before, an order of content in those chapters that we just showed a second ago. In addition to these 3 books and all the other materials we're about to share with you, there is also this free online course that the Coast Guard has approved and helped us fund through a recreational boating safety grant some years ago. Here's a brief outline of the content that it contains. And it also is both mobile phone and tablet and computer compatible. And again, like I'd said before, it uses the same characters, the same content flow. It's 100% free. You don't have to be an ACA member to take it. And it's also available 100% in English and Spanish in both voiceover, closed captions, and on-screen content. So I wanted to take a moment to note that one of the the things that brought us to creating this resource, this whole program, is of course the Recreational Boating Safety Strategic Plan. We saw the need to address each of the ANSI, that's the American National Standards Institute, and NASBLA, the National Association of State Boating Law Administrators. We're in the world of acronyms, are we not? A need to address each of these standards, which they're all important, they're all critical, but it's hard to address them all in one place. And that's kind of where we came together. In addition to those really important items, the continent here is data driven and evidence based. So we have looked at years and years of the Coast Guard's accident and fatality statistics, categorization of accidents, of fatalities, and narratives, of course, from ACA certified instructors and trainers and leaders and guides. Since the initiation of our certification program, we've certified 51,500, I think it is, people. And so talking to all of those, all of our subject matter experts and people who have been around for a long time, and figuring out the kind of the common denominators of hairy situations, and near misses. And so all of these things have kind of fed the development of these resources. If anybody wants a quick review or is unfamiliar, here are the main initiatives of the National Recreational Boating Safety Strategic Plans. And the whole part of this is to prevent death and injury of recreational boaters through these 3 initiatives. And so, as I said just a second ago, all of these resources are informed by that database and all of the published data that comes out each year. Also reports from American Whitewater, the Outdoor Foundation, for participation and demographic information, and of course the wealth of experience by all of those people who've gone through ACA programs, and some who haven't but have been generous enough to share their feedback and experiences with us. Here is just a really quick list of those published standards, and all of these things are covered in these resources so that you know kind of what you're getting. And just throughout, by the way, this presentation, all of these graphics that you're seeing on the screen are components of these books. And so this is the kind of illustrations that you're going to see throughout. In addition to those core items, NASBLA Standards has also kind of a subset of human propelled, and that gets more into paddling specific environments, skills, rescue techniques. And again, all of these things, all of these standards are referenced in the back, and you can find exactly which page if you have a particular interest or need to find something. We make it as easy as possible. So this is a sneak peek of the curriculum textbook. It's designed specifically for beginners. It's written in easy to understand language. I think it's about 3rd or 4th grade reading. And it kind of helps people fill in that gap, right? Of not really knowing what they're doing, being afraid to try because they don't know where to start. They're unfamiliar with the waterway. They don't know what gear they need or how to use it. And so all of these visual resources and all of the easy to read, makes this kind of demystifies the first trip that someone could have, right? And so again, I'm outlining these chapters of how all of it's broken down. And as you can see, these are just examples of pages straight out of the book and what it looks like. I'm going to pause for 1 second and say, Brett, by the way, if in case you happen to have attended our previous presentation a month ago, Brett wasn't able to join us, but I want to recognize him as a huge contributor and author of these resources. And Brett, I just kind of want to hear what you think about it, and just thank you for helping us write this. Thank you for being the driver of this initiative, because it really is going to serve a lot of people really well.
I mean, yeah, thanks so much for, it was just an honor to be just a small part of this process over the past several years, to have an opportunity to work with NASBLA, to listen to our own instructors as part of the ACA, and just listened to some of the feedback in response to some of the recreational boating statistics that we were seeing, like rise in fatalities, some incidences.
Yeah, certainly post-COVID for
A
sure.
lot of things that are, state by state specific, with just sort of a rise in recreational boaters on the water. And a lot of those people just have never ever paddled before. And so one of the things we really learned by listening to the community is that perhaps there was a little bit of a gap between where ACA curriculum started, in our traditional kind of like through SCIC level 1, and the never before have I ever paddled, and sort of trying to, all of those resources were there, but trying to develop something that was really usable by state boating educators, by Boy Scouts, Sea Scouts, the Coast Guard, anyone who's really in a position to introduce people to paddle sports.
Yeah, summer camp counselors,
and
tour guides,
as
stuff like that.
quickly and effectively as possible to communicate key pieces of information that are ultimately going to keep people safe on the water. Hopefully, help municipalities from, using resources and rescues and things like that, because we have a better educated populace, that's, when they enter that water environment for the first time, using some sort of, paddle sport, that they're ultimately able to kind of put some of what's in these texts, to good use. The other thing we really heard is that we wanted to really design this in a way that it's not, the ACA has been in paddle sports education, since 1880. But we're not the only people that operate in this space, and there's so many people that are out there, state boating educators and other folks that just have so much knowledge and experience. And so this is really designed to support folks where they are in whatever program they're offering, to be a resource to be used as those folks want to use and adapt the resource. And I'm really excited mostly about that, because this is just something we're offering to be collaborative with and supportive of the overall community of boating educators, not just folks from the ACA. And you do not need an ACA certification to use this, use what's in here. It's really a resource to be used to support you in the program that you have. And that's so important. And we've even kind of furthered that. I think Kelsey will tell you in a minute. We want to see your name on here as well. So there's some really cool co-branding opportunities that if you want to take this and put your state logo on here, or whatever program that you're a part of, that's also an opportunity, that's available to folks to really take ownership of the paddle sports education to partner. So.
We'll get into that here and again in a minute.
Cool,
but thank you.
Yeah.
That's right. Both of us love this so much we could talk about it all day, but to spare you, we won't. But kind of what I'm hearing out of that, yes, is providing a resource that's accessible to people, either the end user paddler or the instructor or the teacher or the counselor or the troop leader or whatever it is that you are. And, we want to present this as something that you can be a part of, but also that is a bridge to that on-water instruction, leading those trips, like the stuff that all of us here really love. And so this will support your students, your scouts, your family, in having all the information that they need to have a confident start, and know what to do when things just don't go right, So that's kind of where we're coming from. But thank you for my tangent there. I wanted to illustrate right here really quickly on your screen that the textbook comes with an appendix that addresses all of these items here. The kind of second piece of the collection here is the workbook, right? So this might be more appropriate for those who are teaching students, over an extended time, like maybe not just a 4-hour thing and you never see them again, but for mentorship, for, schools or other things like that, right? So these are just examples, some pictures of the pages right out the book of the different kind of questions. We have fill in the blank and multiple choice and short answer, a couple of, labeling situations. We've got some float plan templates. We've got all sorts of stuff. There's a word search in the back. There's pages to take notes. There's all sorts of things to help your students, like give them a hands-on way to build that confidence and awareness of these topics and kind of test their thoughts and their comprehension about it all. And like the curriculum textbook that we just talked about, it also has an appendix that includes the an answer key to all the questions, skills checklists, a float pen template, and a QR code that links to a whole nother completely free online resource library that they can access anytime that they want. Here is a sneak peek of our facilitators guide, right? So this one is pretty darn cool, and it's our newest of the three. I don't know if you can see me while I'm presenting, but Brett's got a copy right here. No, you're good. So this facilitators guide helps you as a presenter, as a teacher, as an instructor, whatever word that you claim, to facilitate learning for each of these people by providing a really great structure for delivering lessons and clinics, sample activities, discussion questions, like how do you get your students engaged and how do you deliver this information in a way that'll sink in, right? And so each lesson right here, these are the two right here, is paddling gear, what you need and why, and then building your outfit. How do you pick your clothing, when you go? And so each of these lessons, there's probably 50 or so in there. It contains the objectives of the lesson, about how much time it'll take to deliver it, the materials you might need, suggested activities, discussion prompts, methods to assess learning, figuring out if what you're saying and presenting is hitting home, and then relevant, helpful hints. And in addition to the 4 chapters that we'd earlier discussed, there's a bonus chapter at the end that's called Next Steps. And this is for people who want to continue to grow as a leader, a teacher, and a lifelong learner. And it gives you all these tools to kind of reflect, set goals for yourself, strategy to teach and to coach people through some of this content, information about professionalism, leadership, judgment, making tough decisions. How do you lean on your peers or mentors for learning and support? And then just like evaluation tools. Did the class that I teach achieve the objectives that I had set? And how do I figure that out? And if yes, or if not, how do I plan better for the next one? And the facilitator's guide appendix, again, we're giving all sorts of other complementary pieces here. It has a worksheet. How do I design my own lesson plan? For anybody who's ever had to give a safety briefing or a safety talk before someone gets on the river or gets out on the lake, what do I say? How do I structure it? How do I make them listen to me? What's most important? That kind of thing. We've got a template on how to help you set that up. We have a little cheat sheet about feedback phrases. If you don't know how to explain to your students how to give them feedback on their performance of various skills or scenarios, we got some phrases to help you start that dialogue in a really uplifting, encouraging way. We've got a self-assessment tool for your own leadership and guidance over the group and the module or the class that you're leading. We've got a breakdown of different teaching styles, learning preferences, kind of how do you connect with everybody, because everybody learns a little differently. We've got a template on how to build a trip log, if that's something that would be valuable for your resume, for your insurance carrier, for yourself. And then just suggested next steps, more resources on how you can continue to grow and serve your community, whoever that happens to be. And so I'm going to start wrapping up, y'all. Thank you again for your attentiveness and sitting through once again another Zoom call, which is kind of how we do business these days. But I want to make the point of saying that paddling safety is everybody's responsibility. It's ours, it's yours, and it's everybody who is in the capacity to help who cares. And so, as Brett earlier mentioned, as paddle sports grow in popularity all over the country and across the globe, honestly, there is also a bigger need for clear, consistent messaging and education. And so we want to align this with the Coast Guard's recreational boating safety program, their strategic plan, their standards, and kind of advance all of us towards those goals. And by equipping our new paddlers with all this knowledge that they need, preventing accidents and promoting lifelong safe participation. I mean, we're all here. We're on the same team, right? We want people to go paddling, see why we love it, create memories, be supported by their family and friends or their school or their camp or wherever they go, and have, a healthy and enjoyable life, and realize that this is something that they can do all their life long and have so many adventures and memories. And so this is a nationwide challenge to do all of this stuff in a great way. And we want to work with you to reach these new paddlers or, experienced paddlers to become facilitators and leaders and teachers, to create this culture of safety on every waterway everywhere. And so to address that, as Brett was talking about earlier, we want to present you an opportunity to work with us, to be on the team and to collaborate. And so we don't want anyone to have to recreate the wheel. we want to co-brand these resources with you. And this is an example, just an example of what this book, a co-brand might look like. Okay, we want to add your logo, your name, your URL, your QR code, whatever information that you want to this book. And so, for example, if you're going to pop this book open, there's a note on one page that says about the ACA. We want to add as many pages as you need to talk about your organization or your community and what matters to you and why this content is applicable, right? And so I want to tell everyone that we are so pleased to be able to offer this opportunity to co-brand these things, put your name on it, you be proud of it, and it doesn't cost you a thing, okay? We will do all of this stuff, all the graphic work, all the pages for free. And so this is my final slide. This concludes the slide deck part of this presentation, but I just hope that you kind of see our passion for this and see how we want to share this with you. That again, you know, you do not need to be an ACA member. You don't have to be a certified instructor. You don't have to have a wealth of experience to use these resources however it best fits in your organization, your goals, your community, your job, wherever that is. And so please, if you haven't, take a picture of this slide. Take a screen grab, take a picture, whatever you need to do, because I want you to be able to reach out if you have questions. If you want to co-brand, if you're having trouble finding the rest of the complementary resources that go along with all of this stuff, but down at the bottom of the screen is the URL that leads directly to this collection of resources where you can get them. You can give us a call. You can shoot us an email. Check us out on social media if you want to, or just browse our website because we have so many things to offer in addition, of course, to this suite of resources. We've got hundreds of videos and placards and signs and brochures and just so many things that we want you to use and that you don't need to pay for. You don't need to be a member. We're just going to show you what we got. And I'm going to stop sharing. Excuse me. Okay. There's a lot of people here. Hey. Thank you for taking a look at that. I want to take one last moment to show you. I'm going to share my screen one last time. The ACA website. If you've ever been here before, it's a pretty dense website because we have so many cool things to offer you. But what you can do is go into the education tab up here on the top. You go down here to the Smart Start for Safe Paddling. And here is exactly where you're going to find the resources we just talked about and all the complementary pieces, right? We have presentation slides if you're going to be conducting a classroom type of course. We've got the free online course that we earlier spoke about. We've got some infographics. We've got a course outline. We've got a whole resource library. We've got this QR code that if you want to share this with anybody, all you got to do is whip out this code. We've also got some frequently asked questions. Why did we develop this? Who is this for? What topics are covered? What do I do if I have more questions, right? So I want you to take a look at these things. And if these don't answer your questions, give us an email or give us a phone call, and we want to walk you through it and help you find all the things that you need. For example, this is just an example of the online course, right? Has all of these content pieces in here. It also has 3 brand new modules that are more specific to kayak angling or paddlecraft angling. It does canoe and SUP angling as well. Step-by-step instructions on how to perform either a self-rescue or an assisted one. And then more information about navigating multi-use waterways and nautical rules of the road. And as I mentioned, again, it's also available completely in Spanish for the same content. So we have had, I don't know, we're nearing 20,000 people, I think, who have completed one piece of that online course, if not all of them. So we've seen a lot of really great response to that, and people are enjoying it. It comes with a certificate of completion if that's valuable to you, you know. So we're just trying to make all this information accessible. So that concludes the presentation that we've prepared for you today. So you're welcome to drop off and go about your wonderful afternoon. I don't know where everybody is, but we're in Virginia and it is hotter than blazes out here. So I hope that you're comfortable wherever you are and that your AC is still working. I'm going to answer any questions that have been put in the chat, or if you would like to ask me something in real time, ask us rather, please feel free to do that. But thank you for your time for those that have to jump. Thank you, Casey, so much for monitoring the chat for us. Hey, Thomas, I'm with the Coast Guard. Oh, I wanted to mention something else. For those who are still here, if you would like a complimentary copy of these books to check them out and see if they're a good fit, please send me an email. Okay, I'm going to put it in the chat here. Can't type sideways. Send me an email with your preferred mailing address and I will get you a copy. Okay, I want you to take a look at it and be able to decide if you like it. We've got the whole stack of them right here. So,
and I think as people do take a look, if people find anything that, hey, you all missed this, or you see something in there that you think would be great for us to add, we really would love to hear that feedback as well. Because if this resource is community sourced, it's just going to get stronger and stronger over time. And different states and things and people around the country have different needs. And so if we missed anything, just let us know.
Yeah. Oh, Rob, it's 58 and rainy over there. I think I prefer that to 90 degrees and humid. Yeah. Hey, Gail, is Gail still here? It's so nice to hear from you. I haven't seen you in a little while. Hope you're doing great. Jordan, I see you over there too. We haven't spoken in a while, but it's nice to see you. Y'all, it is a delight to see some familiar faces and names. And thank you for spending your time here with us. And again, I want to get these things in your hands. I want you to give us your feedback. These are living, breathing books that the beauty of print on demand is that we can make an update, fix a typo, add another graphic, add some more pages, and the very next one that goes out is updated. We don't have a huge inventory of 10,000 of these that we have to recycle or give away or get rid of. So yeah, we want to adapt these things as they go along. As new techniques or pieces of information become available, we're going to update them, you know? So this is kind of something for all of us that we can make applicable to your community, that we can update when new information comes out. I mean, I'm just so excited. Got so many things.
And it just, hopefully the whole intent too is it just puts paddle sport educators in a position where they don't feel like they need to reinvent the wheel. It's just a great starting place. And again, like that resource just gets stronger and stronger over time.
Hi, I have a question. I am very new to this, and my goal, and excuse my naive question, but my goal for this is to teach scouts, basically, stand-up paddleboard, because I have a love for it, and I just want to be able to get them to love it as well and to get their patch for it. So am I understanding this correctly for myself? Because I did read the prerequisites for the scouts. I have to certify myself, right? So do I need, oh, are you there? Sorry.
We're listening.
Okay, do I need to take an online course first? Right?
Okay, good question. So with the scouts, I can't say exactly what their requirements are. You know, some of those checkpoints or other prerequisites for them are specific to the scouts. You could take the online course that comes along with this and ask.
Yeah, it says I have to be ACA certified.
Okay.
Level 1.
Okay, got it. Well, these resources will help you prepare for a certification course, but they are not a substitute for certification if that's what the scouts require. But if you are searching for a course to attend and become certified, I would love to talk to you about that and connect you with the right people at the right time. But yes, I do also think that online course and, you know, having these resources and kind of going through the content in here will prepare you for success in that certification course, especially if you're new.
Okay, so maybe I need to talk to you offline then to see, I guess, a local to where
Yes.
I am. Okay.
I'd be
Perfect.
so happy to do that, of course.
Okay, awesome. Thank you so
Great
much.
question. Does anybody else have a question? Hey, Ted from Bogey West. Nice to see you.
Yeah, good to see you, Ted.
And Thomas, yeah, please, anybody keep my email address. Reach out and ask us questions. If you want a free copy, I want to mail it to you. Okay, so use this opportunity to get some cool stuff. And then talk to us about it after you take a look. We want your feedback. We want to make this customized for you, your organization, your club, your whoever. So that's kind of why we're here. And we support what y'all are doing, getting, you know, paddle sports out in your community, fun, safe, enjoyable experiences for your people. And we want to help. So that's the whole point. And if nobody else has a question, I invite you to sign off and go about your day. But I thank you again for your time. Rob, thank you for being on camera, being the brave one. I love that.
Good to see you.
We all look good.
Thank you all so much for being here.